and it's a Togekiss. So this is the last thing we want to see here. Horrible play. I don't know what I was thinking. I clearly did not. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload daily PvP content, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Ishmael Muniz, thank you for your support. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some Master League battles. I know all the hype is about Premier Cup right now, and I'm really enjoying Premier Cup, but the truth is, I did walk this Dialga to be best buddy for Master League, and I have to make use of it. So we're going to get into some battles here, running Kyogre in the lead, Dialga and Giratina in the back, double dragon, so it's going to be pretty weak to Togekiss, but I think it's a pretty solid line. Let's test it out in some battles. So the first matchup here is against Yogi Strong, and he is going to be leading a Dragonite into the Kyogre. So obviously this is not the best matchup for us, so I'm going to switch out into Giratina Altered Forme here. And I think Giratina performs really well as a safe switch. Opponent brings in the Groudon, so obviously smart move by them. They want to get rid of the Groudon because it's very weak to the Kyogre. So I'm just going to throw the Dragon Claws here at this Groudon. And at this point, it was my first Master League battle. I didn't think this was an Earthquake, thought it was probably going to be a Fire Punch. Happens to be an Earthquake. Mud Shot generates energy so quickly, as you can see. So Groudon definitely is going to be a monster this season, especially with that Mud Shot generating energy so fast, and that Fire Punch bait going to be really tricky to deal with. A little bit of lag there, which is unfortunate, but don't think it made too much of a difference. I am going to go for the Dragon Claw here. And in this Giratina matchup, calling the Fire Punch versus Earthquake bait is huge, because Fire Punch literally does nothing to Giratina, whereas Earthquake is still doing a lot, as you saw. So here I am expecting it to be a Fire Punch, so I'm not going to shield this. I'm going to let it go through. It is a Fire Punch. You can see it literally does nothing to us. And I thought maybe I could get to the next charge move, but I was not able to. So here, it's either shield and take switch advantage or let it go down. I actually chose to let it go down here. And I'm going to bring in the Dialga. So I'm going to farm down with the Dialga here. And if Dragonite comes in, I'm in a good position. So can't really bring in the Dragonite. Let's see what their third Pokemon is. And it happens to be a Mewtwo. So this is not the best situation for us, but we do have two shields. So the main issue here is that the Kyogre Dragonite matchup in the back is so bad, and Mewtwo generates energy so quickly. So going back to that Groudon Fire Punch, it might have made more sense to actually use the shield there and maintain switch advantage, just to ensure that I would align the Dialga with the Dragonite, because I think that would have given us a much better chance at winning. But I'm going to switch into the Kyogre here, and the Dragonite comes in. So basically my main goal here is I'm not going to use any shields. I just want to lower this Dragonite as much as possible. And that Mewtwo did leave with energy in the back, so I have to save my shield for that. So I'm going to throw the Surf here, and hoping that maybe I get one more Surf off. But either way, Dialga should be able to farm down with Dragon Breath once it comes back in. So we do actually get the shield there, which is pretty huge. And this Dragonite looks like it's farming up a lot of energy, so it may just commit to a straight farm down here and then throw straight Dragon Claws at the Dialga, which will take the Dragon Claws pretty well. And they do farm down completely, so they have a lot of energy now. They might have about 3 Dragon Claws. Dialga is relatively healthy. It's almost at full health, like about 80%. So we're going to take all of these Dragon Claws, and I'm going to farm down here. Don't think it'll get to one more, so it's going to get off 2. And Mewtwo is going to come back in here and throw the Side Strike, which I'm going to have to shield. And look, I have enough energy here for Iron Head. And I completely blanked out here, because right now I should be tapping Iron Head, and I win the match. He has no shields. For some reason, I thought he still had a shield, so I tried committing to the farm down, and I end up losing the match because of that. So a horrible noob move by Ox over here, and we end up losing that match. Horrible play. I don't know what I was thinking. I clearly did not. I didn't know he had no shields. I was blind or something. So we lose that game. Obviously we should have won because I had an Iron Head, but huge misplay on my part. So match number 2 against Dragno. Going up against the Togekiss. Obviously you want to see the Togekiss in the lead if you're going to see one, because you do not want Togekiss against the 2 dragons in the back. So I'm staying in this matchup obviously, and I'm going to throw the Surfs here. This is actually a decent matchup for Kyogre because Waterfall still does quite a bit of damage. And we do get the shield for the Surf. Now I am running the Thunder variant on my Kyogre instead of the Blizzard. Main reason for that is only because I think that the other two Pokemon cover the Dragons pretty well, so I don't really need the Blizzard as much. Surf is good enough for Kyogre. And yeah, I mean, Blizzard's really good too, but I'm just going with Thunder. So we're going to go for Surf. Usually when you use Kyogre, it's going to be mostly like 90% using Surf anyways. So we do win the lead matchup, and they bring in Dialga here. Now I did not want to get farmed down by the Dialga, so I actually switched into my own. And obviously at this point he would have the option to switch out into a hard counter against my Dialga, like a Groudon for example. And that's exactly what he does. So thankfully it was a late switch, so I did get enough energy to throw an Iron Head here, which is really good. But also because I saved that Kyogre, even though the Groudon comes in here and it's going to take on my Dialga, I should be able to come back in with the Kyogre and get rid of this Groudon. So it's not a horrible situation as you see. And then I'll have the Giratina in the back left to take on the Dialga, and my Giratina will basically be at full health. So at this point the Groudon actually does get to a Fire Punch. And at this point there's no point to shield, so I'm just going to let it go through and bring in the Giratina here. And I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. The reason I'm throwing the Dragon Claw is because I don't want to have to use a shield on a potential Earthquake. So we do get that through. Groudon goes down, and now it's basically Dialga versus Giratina. And we are lagging a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we are going to be able to spam these Dragon Claws, and because we had a relatively big health advantage, we should be able to outpace this Dialga here. So we do get the last shield. I'm going to get to one more Dragon Claw. Would expect the charge move to be coming from the Dialga very soon, which we're going to have to shield of course. And I should be able to get to one more Dragon Claw before this Dialga is able to farm me down. So we do get to the Dragon Claw. And it looked like at this point they were just committing to the straight farm down Dragon Breath because they realized that they weren't going to win with charge moves. So well played there. And ACDA 11 is here in match number 3. Gonna lead Kyogre into Groudon. So finally we find the lead I've been looking for this whole time. Trying to hunt down those Groudons, expect them to be everywhere. Mewtwo comes in, and Mewtwo is an amazing safe switch. And I'm going to meet it with the Giratina here. And I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak right away. So this should be a Side Strike. And Side Strike still does... Oh, it's actually Shadow Ball. Wow. Okay, so very interesting. I did not shield that. Even though Side Strike still does a lot, Shadow Ball obviously is deadly, as you could see. And that was really bad for us. So now I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. We do not get the shield. Going to go again for another Dragon Claw. And that Shadow Ball really changed things. A lot of people are running Shadow Ball and Side Strike on their Mewtwo's. So we do get rid of the Mewtwo, which is really good. Dialga comes in here, hoping I can get off at least one Dragon Claw here. We're not able to get to it, so a little bit unfortunate. And now I'm going to bring in the Dialga, of course, my own. And this is the best part of having Best Buddy, because at this point, every single person is running Best Buddy. I knew the Groudon was going to switch, so I have to bring in the Kyogre right away. And we're going to get off this Surf. The main issue here is that their Dialga is going to be able to farm down on my Kyogre after, which is not good. But we did get the shield, which is pretty interesting and is actually going to give me a huge advantage here, because this is not going to KO the Kyogre, and I should be able to very easily get rid of this Groudon. And he's actually lowering my Kyogre's health as well, so there's less energy for the Dialga to farm up on. So everything is going right in this match. I do get the Surf off. The Dialga comes back in. There's barely anything to farm down on, and with 2 shields here, I just have to commit to a straight Dragon Breath farm down. Best Buddy Dialga is so important when you're facing another Best Buddy because of those breakpoints. I have the minimum breakpoints needed to tie with a Hundo. 15 attack, I believe 14 defense, and 12 HP is the minimum you need to tie when Best Buddied to a Hundo. So basically, my IVs at Best Buddy act as a Hundo in a way. So we won't lose to another Dialga, and as you see, I just used both shields, committed to the straight farm down, didn't throw any energy, and we take that matchup. Going against Presco Lu here in this next match. Gonna lead Kyogre into Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is really strong in Master League, definitely one of the better Pokemon, especially with the access to Side Strike. So I do switch into Giratina here, and I'm going to throw this Dragon Claw. Let's see if we get the shield here. We do not. So they let it go through. And now, last time we saw the Shadow Ball, it was very devastating. So am I going to shield this time? I let it go through. It's only a side strike. So we did gamble once again. And we know we could survive the Shadow Ball anyways. So it's not necessary to shield there. But this second one is going to be brutal. So we do have to shield. And we should get to the charge move. They actually switch out into Groudon. So I'm okay with this. Gonna throw these Dragon Claws. Do as much damage as I can here with the Giratina. And then bring in the Kyogre. They are switch locked into their Groudon at this point. So I'm going to throw this Dragon Claw. And the switch timer should come up now. And I should switch into the Kyogre here. So we do. This Groudon is still switch locked for quite a bit of time. Probably going to throw an Earthquake here, which is going to do heavy damage. But I don't want to use any shields, of course. So we're going to let this go through. It does a lot of damage, as you could see. And we do get to the Surf, but I chose not to click it. And at this point, I'm going to let this go through, banking on it being a Fire Punch. It is a Fire Punch. We do survive that. And I'm actually able to farm down, and now I have a Surf ready for the Mewtwo. So great call there on our part to call that Fire Punch bait. Opponent's taking a lot of time to come in here. And we do throw the Surf, aggressively tapping the screen to make sure I get it off. And the Surf is shielded by the Mewtwo. And at this point, the Mewtwo actually has a lot of energy stored. So I'm letting the switch timer come up. Gonna bring back in the Giratina. They actually switch into their own Giratina. So now I'm gonna throw Dragon Claws, hoping I can get off 2 maybe here. And then I'm going to bring in Dialga. And I would imagine that I'm going to commit to a pretty aggressive farm down. This is actually going to be a very close match. We weren't able to get to that Dragon Claw, which is a little bit unfortunate. And Giratina is going to throw here. This is going to knock out our own Giratina. Now I bring in the Dialga here. And I am going to save this shield for the Mewtwo because it has a lot of energy. And if it's running Focus Blast, I definitely do not want to get hit by that. Plus, it's very low health. So once I shield their charge move, I should be able to commit to a farm down. And this is different from in the first match where I had the Iron Head ready and I didn't throw it, which cost us the match. In this particular example, they do still have a shield. So I do not want to throw the charge move at the Mewtwo because I will lose potential Dragon Breath damage. So I'm just committing to a straight farm down here once I shield this. Not going to throw any energy and hope that I could farm it down with Dragon Breath before it gets to another charge move, which looked like would have been the case because they backed out of the match. So GG's there. And this should be the last matchup in the set. Mirko GB 93. So we're 3-1 currently. And gonna lead Kyogre into Kyogre. So in this matchup, obviously I'm running Thunder. But as you're going to see, this is, even when you win this match, it's a little bit tricky. Because most people who are running Kyogre in the lead almost always will have Dialga in the back. So let's see what happens here. I built up to Thunder. We both built up to Thunder. And then it looked like we both started lagging. So I don't think a lot of people are running Thunder. So I'm actually going to take this. It's a Surf. And because I don't shield this, most opponents are going to think that I also am only running Surf and Blizzard. So I'm going to go straight for the Thunder here. We're either going to get the shield or a knockout. They get KO'd. But just because we KO'd isn't necessarily the best thing, because now they could farm up a lot of energy with the Dialga. So I'm going to throw this Surf. And this is going to put the Dialga lower in health, of course. Obviously, it still does a decent chunk to it, as you can see. But they do farm us down. And now I'm going to bring on our own Dialga. But they have a lot of energy here, so they're going to get to a charge move before us. And we have to be wary of the Draco Meteor. This seemed a little bit too early for it to be a Draco Meteor. So I'm actually going to let that go through, and it is an Iron Head. And I'm going to farm here. And they actually are going to throw again. So at this point I am going to shield. And let's see what their third Pokemon is in the back, because they switch out and it's a Togekiss. So this is the last thing we want to see here. If our Dialga had a bit more health, it would have been okay. But Togekiss against basically 2 dragons in the back is not what you want to see. We do get the first shield, and I switch out because I did not want that Togekiss to farm up any more energy, even though the charge moves aren't going to do much. And at this point, this is likely going to be an Ancient Power, but I have to shield just because I need all the health I could save. So I'm building up for 2 Shadow Sneaks here, and we should get a shield here on the first one. So honestly, maybe it would make sense to throw Dragon Claw the first time because you know you're gonna get a shield here. So had I got for Dragon Claw, maybe I could have got 2 more charge moves off, which would have changed this game, because as you could see here, Shadow Sneak still does quite a bit of damage, and this matchup is decently close. See, I would have got the Dragon Claw, it wouldn't have KO'd, but I mean, it probably wouldn't have made a difference anyways. Like, Togekiss is just such a hard counter in the back, and definitely not what you want to see when you're running a double dragon team. So we end up losing that match, and we go 3-2 in that set. Despite how favorable that last matchup was for us, Togekiss in the back really hurt and made it a little bit challenging to win. So as you guys could see, this team, Kyogre in the lead, is pretty interesting, and I do think this lineup has a lot of potential. Obviously, there is a big weakness to Togekiss in the back because Charm is really going to hurt against the 2 dragon types. Depending on when you enter, obviously Dialga with full health could do decent against Togekiss, and Giratina, as you saw, actually isn't too bad against Togekiss. It is going to lose, but it could do a lot of damage still just because it's so bulky. But overall, really good team. I'm going to test it out some more, see if I can win more consistently with it. That was the first time using it, so still a little bit rusty, but I think as we get more comfortable with it, we should start to do a lot better and progress in rank. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.